Coke Machine for Real Fishing, February 13th, 2025. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Welcome to the party, everyone. I am at Deepwater Point right now. Just got out here, and I can tell you straight up that there's much more snow on the ice than there was yesterday because we had a storm go through here. So there was problems with drifting and whatnot before. So you can rest assured that those problems will continue over the next few days as a result of more snow on the ice. I definitely had to pull my sled through some pretty thick stuff here, and it wasn't fun. So if you're walking and you have a Smitty sled, I highly suggest that you get one or that you use it. Uh, expect all the launches to be snow covered to some extent, and there's probably going to be some deep grooves in them from people, driving through it and whatnot. I'm parked out here on the ice. There was snow on the ice, but I was still able to get into my parking spot fairly reasonably. So I didn't walk through any slush, but if somebody told me there was slush out there, I'd be like, of course there is, because a lot of the snow is going to be pushing down, pushing water up. There's about, I would say, obviously there's a range on how much snow you have on the ice, because you're going to have, sometimes the wind had got it right down to the packed stuff that was easy to walk on. And then there were drifts that would be, 10 inches tall and taller. I just avoided the really thick ones. But you can rest assured that you're going to be dealing with lots of snow on the lake. And I understand that people were getting their trucks stuck at Sunset Point a couple of days ago. So I imagine that's going to be only worse now. So people were asking if they should be riding their ATVs or the trucks out here or the side-by-sides. I think it's probably not great conditions for that. However, for snowmobiling, it's probably fantastic. So I got a tip up down here, or not a tip up. I got the special holder by Brocraft that is holding my one rod, and it's a tip down. So I have that with a dead stick on one side, and I'm about to drop a big, massive clapper on the right side here. It's going to start my other camera in case I catch something real nice. So that concludes the report part of this, and I'm just going to get to fishing because I do have a fish on my fish finder as we speak. It looks like he's giving my dead stick a real look, but not really committing to it. I understand from other people, talking to other people, particularly Danny at Billy Bob's Bait. He said he was out here, not so long ago, and he had a lot of lookers, but not a lot of takers. So let's get right to it. I'm going to lower the camera down, switch it around. Thanks, everybody. Andy Martin, Carrie Toutant, Rob, Elliott Outdoors. I'll go through some of the comments in a second here. I'm just going to rearrange my camera a little bit and get it looking at where the action is, I got an alternative tripod today, so this should be less of an ordeal to get a look at both the holes. Okay, I'm going to put the fish finder up. Get the thing down here, turn it up a little bit. All right, so just to show you my tip down there, it's attached to the side of my clam, and got a dead stick minnow down there. I was thinking about the other day that I lost a couple of fish at the hole, right? The last live stream I did, and I was thinking about it at first. I'm like, okay, I'm catching them on the ice, but I also was only able to get like a certain kind of a hook set because of I'm in a tent, right? I can only lift the rod so high, so that's an issue in and of itself. So it should be a little bit better of a view of things than last week. But yeah, it's like when I go to set the hook, it's like it goes into the tent here, and that's never good. So as you can see on my radar down there goes down my clapper. Now this clapper is a massive one because it's got two. There's a fish going after my thing right there. So I That's me just, I hadn't tightened it up. Yeah, there's definitely some action down there. Just going to take a peek at some of these comments here quick. Elliot Outdoors says, does Billy Bob sell sucker minnows? I feel like they do, but I don't want to tell you the wrong answer. I'm not sure 100%. But I know that if you call them or you get a hold of them on Facebook, they'll probably have an answer for you there. Yeah, so this clapper I have on here, I've never even tried to sell it. It's got 2 spoons on either side of the glass bead, so it's heavy. It's heavy. So I'm just trying it out here. We'll see if we can land something. There's definitely a fish down there that seems interested, but he might be just a looker. Dave S. says, Al at Lake at Nipissing Outfitters hooked up my son with your book during the stay this week. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm thinking, because I don't know how old your son is, but the one set of books that are just like the illustrated gear series books, those ones are, they really do well with younger kids and, kids who want to be quizzed on what kind of, what is what as far as gear is concerned. But I'm thinking, like I wrote that book last spring called Fishing from the Dock, and I was thinking maybe I would do a similar kind of thing. That book's a lot more technical than the illustrated series, so I was thinking I might do one for ice fishing. We'll see how that plays out. It was fun writing that one. All of them has been fun, but it takes time. Credit Angler, will you be selling clappers at Birch Grove launch this weekend? I will be selling them tomorrow from probably 9 a.m. in the morning until 1 p.m. or so. So just look for that bearded guy with glasses out there. And definitely anybody coming up with any of the outfitters that launch out of Birch Grove there. Mary from South River Resort, she has a whole bunch of my lures there as well. And then as well, Al and Glenn at Lake Nipissing Outfitters, they've got a bunch of lures. I try to leave them with a bunch because people are coming up on Mondays and stuff like that, and I can't get there on Monday because it's after my night shift. I know I've tried using underwater cameras at this depth, and it usually at this time of day doesn't really work very well. So I haven't tried my underwater camera yet, but I was thinking I might be going to some other lakes sometime later in the season, and I'm going to try to like on a few clearer lakes. Like I'm dying to get to Temagami to try out for some lake trout. Look at this honker here, heavy. I'm gonna take it off. I think from the way the fish are just sort of looking at my rigs and just looking, I think got to go small. So let's see what I can throw at them here. Yeah, I was putting together a little flyer or like just a little 8x10 poster to give to Mary at South River Resort that just goes with the Minnow Clappers. And a few people have sent me some pictures of some very decent fish caught on those clappers. And when they're all put together into one graphic, it's sort of, I was like, wow, glad these things are working out. Okay, so I got a micro clapper here with a minnow head on it. I know somebody asked me before if I only use clappers when fishing, and it's not true. If I'm not seeing anything biting on these, I'll eventually go through my tackle box of everything. Usually the first switch will be to a buckshot rattle spoon. It's usually one of my favorites. Might throw a light rattler on there, a small rattler. But for now, we're going to try these mini clappers here and see if we can get this fussy fish down here to grab hold. And he's looking at it. Yeah. Come on. I'm just like shaking it so lightly. Sorry, he's looking at it. He's looking at it. Come on, just bite it, bite it, bite it. I bet you it's a perch or something, or it's a fussy walleye. I mean, he's been down there hanging around my baits for 10 minutes so far. I'm just going to go through some of the comments here again. Let my gear just sit down there dead still for a second. Elliot Outdoors says, "Hey Coke, how's the fishing on Calendar? Coming for a trip tonight." I was at Calendar on Tuesday morning, and I had something come in and look at my rig, but wouldn't commit. I imagine, especially in Calendar and sort of a tight spot there, that it's, those fish have seen every lure in the book by this time of year. But last week I was having a good time here at Deepwater Point, but I figured I probably just got here on a good day, and it wasn't necessarily like this all the time. So I'm playing around with my dead stick over here. So yeah, like looking at this Brocraft thing here, it attaches to the side. I know I mentioned this before, and at first I'm just like, how do you adjust this thing? But it is highly adjustable. It clamps on, which is okay. I kind of wish there was maybe like a telescoping part that would come out so you could sort of like really adjust where it's at. But overall, I'd say it's a pretty decent rig there. It's sort of what I needed for fishing inside the hut. Like I've got all these tip downs and whatnot for open air fishing, but and I guess you could put them on the floor, no problem. But I sort of wanted one that could attach to my hut here. So this is what I got. So this is the first test of it. One thing I noticed is that the clamp was sliding a little bit down the pole there. Not so bad, but a little bit, enough to concern me because, as you can see, I've got a heater below it, which, it's good. The things need defrosting. It's not too hot at that level, but yeah, it's interesting to try that out there. So I'm just gonna keep reading through some comments. Grimy Fishing, how you doing? Dave Parent, how you? Lucas Miller, Ryan Trudel. Let's see, we got any new. Rob says, "Do you have any of your books back in stock at Billy Bob's?" I was just talking to Danny about that today. I did sell him a whack of books a couple weeks ago, so there's definitely some books there in stock now. He was telling me that he hasn't sold any just yet. Pretty sure I just had a tap here. Yeah, he hasn't sold any, so if you're looking for some, they're there. One thing to note, if you notice a difference in the price between Amazon and Billy Bob's, is that when I sell directly to Billy Bob's, I actually make more money on that sale than I do through Amazon when Amazon sells it. I probably make like $4 if somebody buys it through Amazon, but probably make, maybe $6-7 when I sell it directly to Billy Bob's, maybe more, slightly more than that. So Wormhole to Cosmos. You say, dude, I'm so jealous. Yeah, well, don't be jealous of the walk I had to do out here. Just had to bring a change of shirt. So I caught whatever's been looking here and it feels real small, which makes sense to me. Micro perch probably up. He's not too bad. He's probably like an 8-inch perch. Not one that I would be keeping, but we'll be sending them back. Ouch. Okay. Well, he got me with his little gill plate there. That's part of the game. All right. So I got some minnow chunks here I'm sort of working on. I had the minnow head on there. I'm just going to use part of the minnow body. All right. So let's try this again here. So there was something when I first set up my fish finder here. There was something really big on the bottom there, or at least it took up quite a bit of space. So whatever it was, we may never know. But I've heard word that people are starting to catch some burbits now out here on the lake as they do their underwater breeding. And I know there's certain hot spots that nobody wants to share. I always found the best burbot spot I found was on Lake Rosso, and it was a hump that came up to 15 feet that was beside 130 feet of water, and all the burbots were coming up under there. It was good. So there's definitely a fish down here. He's moving. Came to look at it, but doesn't want to go for it. I'm always surprised that with the dead stick there that it doesn't get more action. I've had times where dead sticks were like the way to go, and then sometimes really just the little shakes are what get them coming. But that minnow, I mean, I guess you could have it more finesse by putting, just a hook and a split shot down there, and nothing but a small hook and a minnow, and that might be a better dead stick rig for the kind of action we're seeing today, where it's just like real slow, not really aggressive fish. Last week it was wild when they were coming up to like 4 feet to catch my lure as it fell down. I tell you, if anybody watching hasn't seen last week's live stream at Deepwater Point here, I suggest you do. As I said in my last little report there, I don't often rewatch any of my live streams, but that one I did. I sat there packing Minnow Clappers and watching it probably that night. So it was good. It was a night when you see lots of action, so far we got one perch here. I don't want to jinx anything, but I don't think the fish are quite on the bite like they were last week. So Jeff Vanderkoy says, "Hey Coke, I see you're at Deepwater Point. When you get out there, do you go right or left?" I've been going sort of like at the point here, just sort of trying to be in line with the point, so it would be going slightly right, but not too far right. Again, I'm on foot, so I can't really cover a lot of turf. So I sort of go for where I can find the deepest water the fastest. So I went for I'm in about 24.9 here, so pretty close to 25. I was told by KVG Outdoors to try to get to 25 feet out here. So we'll see how this plays out. Again, there's a fish. He's sitting right underneath both my rigs here. So today I put my fish finder in between, like it's in a hole right behind it here. There's another hole just for the purpose of having the fish finder in a different hole, so it doesn't get all stuck with my line and stuff when the fish is coming up, because I feel like that was an issue. And it's also makes things a little bit easier for me because I'm doing a live stream, and sometimes I wish you guys could see a picture of what it looks like, because you'd see the camera is between my legs, like a whole tripod and everything. So it's kind of an awkward thing, especially when you get a fish on, to try to navigate a bunch of stuff. And I know a lot of people like to pull their fish finder out of the hole, but like in this case, it's just another thing I'd have to do. So I feel like I tried to set it up a little bit better today, so that it's I don't have to do that. And basically each hole is its own hole here, and if I got to pull a fish through it, I don't have to worry about it getting tangled to anything. I'm just gonna grab hold of this rod too. So just gonna go for a little side by side here. If I start seeing some fish come in, again, I feel like there's fish that have come in and looked at things, but they just get going. All right, I'll put that back in the. So I got that back in the holder there again. Just dead sticking style. This is one of those days where you turn on the heat, gets too hot. When you turn off the heat, gets too cold. Corey says, "Hey Coke, just joined. What's the ice thickness?" It's 20 plus. 20 plus. I've noticed that the ice isn't putting on as much ice lately because of the snow coverage. And, I know a lot of people are often talking about how snow insulates the ice, and it really does. Like, I feel like since we've had snow coverage, that the progression of the ice is a snail's pace compared to how it was before. Daniel Ristic. So Daniel, you say, "Hey Coke, did you try those settings I sent you?" I looked at those settings there, and I tried to adjust a few things. I think I need to take another look at it there as well. It's the kind of thing for probably the last multiple years of me using this Striker 4, is that a lot of times I've just sort of opened the box and started using it. I know there's like a few people have given me a few tips. Like right now it's on the bottom focus, which, a few people suggested that to me. You guys might remember I once had it set so you could see the little fish icons going past, which was fun, but I guess not everybody's cup of tea. And then I was trying to look into how to adjust the gain. Like that guy that came up with that list of things for the Striker 4, there was like 20 different things on that list of suggestions that he said should be the best settings for it. So Dave Parent says, coming up tomorrow, maybe see you at Birch Grove. Sounds good to me, man. So I'm thinking that I might. Sorry. Put my heat back on there. I might just rock a rattle bait for a few minutes here to see if I can call something into my dead stick there. A few more of these comments here. Yeah, there's a touch of wind going on out here. It's not like a crazy wind, but wind enough. If it wasn't windy, I would be totally open airing it here because it was nice clear blue sky last I checked. Looks maybe a little overcast now. I could see across the lake like all sorts of like these snowy clouds going on. So I would have, I really enjoy watching the sunset from the ice. But for now, I got to get out of the wind because that wind will kill you. So Elliot Outdoors says, the fishing calendar bay, I've seen everything. I have a spot though. Yeah, I know. I feel like there's a few people I've talked to, like Jeff Vanderkoy and Northern Boys Outdoors. And it seems like if you get away from like the crowd on Calendar Bay, you definitely can do much better. So I'm sure if you can get a little further out there, you're probably doing pretty good. Epic deals and trending gifts. Good to see you out there fishing, Coke Machine. Yep. Doing the old Thursday fish on. My kid had a snow day today. So you definitely got a fish down at the bottom there. Yeah, the kid had a snow day today, and I remember telling him, like a lot of times on Thursday, I try to fish like both morning and night. Oops. Or at least last week I did. It's sort of my one day off. The kid's in school, yada, yada, yada. But he had a snow day, so I was like, okay, you can stay home with me, and we're going to hang out and take it easy. So I got here kind of late by comparison because I had to wait for my wife to come home. I know he keeps telling me, he's like, I want to go on your live stream. And I'm like, well, it's like the tough part is I'm in this tiny little hut. And it's kind of tricky as it is. Okay, so I got a fish down there. Right at the bottom. I'm gonna lift up my dead stick here so you can. I haven't caught any mud puppies in a while. I feel like they come in surges as well. Totally had a nip there. Shoot. Oh, he's going up. Sorry, my line got stuck in the side of my hole there. He's looking at my dead stick there. Of course he. Okay. Well, hopefully I can flash him back over here. There he is. Oh, he's. I swear my lure was going like in and out of his mouth there. I just kept on feeling like it. Stop. I'm getting one of these situations where the line keeps freezing to the side of the hole. Just gonna come on. Come on. Disappeared. All right. Bernie, late for the party, but still managed to show up. Showed up halfway. That's always good. Paul Brown, hey Coke, tune in any action. One not so giant perch, but wasn't totally tiny. And then we've seen a few fish come in, take a good look, and then disappear. So Fahad, you're up with Snowfari again. That's this weekend, eh? Well, if you're up tomorrow, you might actually see me in the Birch Grove parking lot, so keep your eyes peeled. I used to just set up my truck there and sit at the end of my truck, but I found that it's more effective for me to go around because people park all over the place, so I just sort of walk around chatting with people. Come on, look at this. He's right. Come on. So he keeps popping into my radar cone here and then popping out. I'm gonna try something else here. I'm gonna throw down my like a little gold rattle bait. See how that plays. Oh, it's one of my faves. It's gonna be soon time to turn on a light in here. So I'll let you guys watch the dead stick over here in case it goes down. So I'm not sure if it's gonna happen, but in the future, my brother, myself, and his like high school buddy are planning on getting out on a Temagami area lake for an ice camp adventure. So we'll see if we can make that happen. The one problem is my brother's got a Forerunner, sweet Forerunner, but it's got some sort of problem with some sort of gizmo that deals with its towing abilities. So it's supposed to make the ride smoother or something like that. So anyway, it's an expensive part that Toyota's having to fix. But it's kind of key for him to haul his snowmobile around. Okay, so I'm throwing down a rattler. This is one of my classic golden rattle baits. Let's see how that works. Now I see the guy looking at my the fish was looking at my dead stick there. Here goes down my rattler. I've found a lot, I know I say this often, is that the rattle baits are good at getting attention, but sometimes it just sort of gets their attention and they look at it and then that's it. But I guess you could probably say that for a lot of different baits. But I've definitely caught a good number of fish on these lipless cranks or lipless rattle baits. Yeah, they're noisy as can be. Yeah, it was interesting. Last week, I had to, I was walking in after the live stream was done there, and it was like sort of new turf for me, right? Because I had never been out here in the dark, and I could look across the way and I could see the ski hills in North Bay just lit up. I remember when I used to live on Yellick there, I used to get quite the view of the city of North Bay when I was coming in, like all the lights, the city just lit up. It was great. Okay, so I'm gonna try to get light on in here. That should help a little bit. All right, well, since these fish are sort of moving slow down there, I'm gonna go through some more comments. Paul Brown says, looks perchy. Yeah, I agree. Sometimes perch can be so aggressive, and sometimes they're looky-loos for sure. Epic Deals and Trending Gifts says, automatic jaw jacker for the dead stick. Coke machine. Yeah, I have this one called the Trigger. I have a whole bunch of different ones. Like, I love that style of a rod holder. I have not the automatic fisherman, or I have the jaw jacker. I don't have the auto jaw jacker, the one with the motor in it. But I've got the Trigger. I got this orange one. I feel like I once made one myself, and I feel like it had the best reaction. Like it just like had very few problems. It seemed to always, set off. Whereas I find like the jaw jacker, you get a lot of like if ice gets into any of those moving parts, it's done, or you have to break it off and whatnot. The Trigger is a little simpler. It just sort of has like this nail that goes into the tip of your rod. So you sort of want to use, I like to use like ugly sticks or whatever on them because, can't damage an ugly stick. And then the other one had like all these little components that, it's okay, but it was also, I kept losing the pieces around. One thing, I've got this one tip up, and I wouldn't set it up inside my hut, obviously, but I got this one tip up where it covers the hole. It's like one of those black ones that has a flag in it. Covers the hole, and those ones would probably go good for dead sticking minnow clappers if it came down to that. Because I guess the minnow clappers, the idea is the minnow does all the work for you. Yeah. So there you go, Jeff. Jacob Shannon says, so go left, Jeff. Yeah, I went right, and the fish aren't biting here. So if you're you might as well go left. I know a buddy of mine was fishing probably just outside of the crowd here, a little bit further to the right from here, but he told me he wasn't catching too much out there. It's going to really rattle this thing for a little bit. So you're rigging rods for tomorrow, any hot baits? I know a lot of people really swear by the jig heads, classic jig head with minnow. Hot pink, green, people have been saying. Those are the hot baits that I've heard about. I'm always partial for the to the buckshot rattle spoons. I got this UV green one that seems to do me pretty good. In fact, I think I'm gonna put that on right now. Let's see if I do have a whole bunch of new minnow clappers I gotta keep testing here, but for the moment I'm just gonna try one of my buckshot rattle spoons. The good thing with them is, like, I got this tungsten one now, and it's, you know, you gotta love the tungsten. It just sinks like a rock. Let's see. It's usually not too far. Let's have you guys look at my dead stick over there while I figure out where. Well, looks like I found a blue buckshot rattle spoon with a glass rattle. Let's try that guy out. I'm gonna put a Oh yeah, it feels pretty good. You guys see that happening? I hope you did, because this feels decent. Pike. Let's try to keep him out of my heater. He saved all his juice for. Okay. All right. All right. Oop, easy guy. As you can see, he's on the minnow clapper there. So that worked out. Mercies. Use a slimy one. Okay. Give me a second here. It's really, I want to let go of my clapper here. Okay, I see it. I think I might be trimming my line on this one. Okay. My line just ran through this guy's mouth. All right, little pike. On you go. Well, definitely slimed up my hands real good. Okay. Well, that was a moment of excitement. I think I'm probably gonna have to wash my snow pants here for no other reason aside from them being slimed up with pike slime. I swear those fish, they got a tendency to just save it all for as soon as they're in your hut. I mean, or your boat. All right, I'm gonna put this minnow on this guy here. This buckshot rattle spoon with the glass rattler. Let's see how that plays out. And while I'm doing that, I'll put it in the dead stick holder. So it looks like there's a fish down there right now. I don't know if that could be the pike just going back down there, but it looks like something else is showing up. And then I'll Going to inspect my line. Like I said, the line sort of got run through that pike's teeth. So at least I'm going to want to inspect it a little bit. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. A pike. And the slime is everywhere. I tell you, if any fish has got slime nailed, it's them. So I can definitely feel some kinks in my line here. So I'm gonna trim it a little bit. I don't think I necessarily need a full cut. So I'm gonna put you guys on the dead stick there, just to watch while I fix my line up here. Yeah, there's definitely some nicks in my line. So normally I might completely replace my line, but in this case, since I'm sort of on the stream here, I'm gonna not. I guess this is where you need a third rod. I like to tie Palomar knots on everything. I'm using a 10-pound fluorocarbon right now. Boy, my hands smell pikey. I have a little bit of. There we go. A little bit of coordination issues there. All right. All right. So back in the mix. Yeah. Let's see what we're going to put on here. Okay, I'm going to try firing on one of my Ultra Glow clappers here. Let's see, this one got me a few last week there. Doesn't take much to glow them up. All right. So when I came out here, it seemed like there was only about 4 or 5 trucks parked on the ice, and it didn't seem like there were too many. People at the huts. There's probably in this particular area. There's got to be probably like 100 huts. Pretty busy spot. All right, so I'm gonna fire a minnow head on here. Get that glowed up just a touch more. So yeah, it's all glowed up, ready to go. Let's see if we can get some action here in the last 10 minutes of the live stream. This hut smells like pike. Chud says, any luck yet? The luck has been pike and a perch. So Bernie, you're able to see the chat stream on the TV now. That's good. Dave Parent says, how far is Birch Grove from ice bungalows? Maybe Bernie knows. Does ice bungalows go out of Fish Bay, Bernie? Or do they go out of... Some guys showed up at the Birch Grove parking lot the other day, and they gave me a name of an outfitter. I was just like, I don't think I've ever heard of them before. So Paul Brown says, was out last weekend, get away from the crowds. Yeah, it's funny because I'd say like along the lakeshore, like near Amelia Beach, is an area where you can get away from the crowds. I haven't really done too many evening bites there, but anytime I've gone fishing there, I haven't had much luck. Even though in the summertime, I find the fishing in the spring is pretty good there. Simon Handel, how many have you hooked so far? We got 2, 1 perch, 1 pike. Paul Brown says, anyone was shallow on calendar, 17 feet. I went up to 23 feet, started nailing them. Yeah, I'm hearing that. I'm hearing people saying that, over 20 is where you want to be this time of year. Bruce Dunstall says, hey, Coke, welcome back. What time do you get to Birch Grove? Is it on Fridays? We're coming to Rob's 5-star next Friday. You like to grab a few clappers? Yeah, I usually get there. I try to get there around 8:30, but I always sort of, there's always unforeseen things. I think that's part of my life in general, is unforeseen things that make me a little bit late. So usually I'm there at least by 9. I try to make sure I'm there by 9. Elliot Outdoors, have a good one, buddy. Good luck when you come up. I'm usually there by 9. I'm usually there till about 1. So that's when you will be able to catch me if you're coming around. Mario Gagne, are you the guy I sold 2 clappers to at the Shoppers Drug Mart parking lot today? I was laughing with my kid after that. I was like, I'm always selling these lures in the Birch Grove parking lot. This is the first one I've sold, or first lures I've sold in the Shoppers Drug Mart parking lot. Yeah, if you guys are watching, don't forget to hit the like button. It's funny this time of year. I call it clapper season because I'm sort of like, a lot of times on my night shifts, I'm just watching movies and spinning up clappers because that's, the way it goes. And during the ice report season, we'll obviously spend a lot of time working on ice reports. But yeah, this time of year, it's like, I've got my regulars here who come to watch the live streams, and some people watch them afterwards. I like to think that there's individuals out there who fire on my live streams and helps them get to sleep or something. But yeah, definitely the pace of things really slow down when it comes down to this part of the season. It's like I definitely don't make nearly as many videos. I try to keep making them. I try to make one a week or so. It's just boy, when I'm making the ice reports, it's a real flurry, and there's a lot of people sending me info and stuff like that. And this time of year, it's people are fishing and enjoying it out there. The ice reports are really all about the hype of the season and getting ready to go. And then we get to chill out on these live streams and take it easy. But every year I always have these plans for all these different things I want to do during the ice reports, and I'm always it's like what I should really do is the second I'm done ice fishing this year is just start working on stuff for next year's ice reports, and then I'd be ready. But I mean, I'm always, got plans for like new books and stuff like that, and those all take a lot of time. So a lot of times I get into the book zone as soon as ice fishing finishes, and it's basically just spending every night drawing a bunch of pictures and editing stuff and all that kind of fun. Yeah, Jeff Vanderkoy says they are finicky tonight. They are. They are. But that's the way they are. Norman White says, how much ice have you got? We got 20 plus inches here. 20 plus. Russell Lamb says, put a minnow head on the rattle bait. You know, I used to do something like that when I was perch fishing. I'd put, I'm sorry guys, I don't mean to be an old man again. Remember I was talking to you about how this particular, the clam chairs are just not good for the back. Well, over the last few years, I've developed the sciatica. so right now I've got like some pretty awesome pain that's radiating from my lower spine all the way down my leg. So I'm digging that right now. I don't know if they'll ever make a clam chair that's made for back pain sufferers. So Bruce McDonald says, would an ATV get you around there, or is there too much snow on the ice? I'm hearing from people who are like regular users of ATVs and stuff like that on the ice that there's a lot of drifting snow that I think is going to cause you problems, unfortunately. Juan says, hey, Coke, I caught a pickerel while streaming you fishing. That's good, man. Glad somebody's catching them out there. Yeah, Bernie says, I think an ATV would have difficulty now. It's definitely like it. The surface looks good if you like looking at snow, and I do. But yeah, I imagine you could probably bog down your wheels pretty good in this. I haven't seen so many trucks out, like any trucks out recently. I think I saw one in Calendar Bay when I was there. So we got a fish down there. Let's see if we can get him to go for it. And he's gone. Oh, no, he's back. This fish is like, I want to look at them, but I don't want to bite them. Come on. Come on. Come on. I'm just trying to really shake my clapper here on the right side. You can see him, he's just right down there on the bottom. I'm going to put my... Come on. Sorry. I'm trying to show you what I'm doing here. Not that I'm the wizard of this, but I'm just trying to shake it. Give it a little... Come on. Let's see, he seems to like following it when it's shaking like that, but he's not going for it. Come on. You know, there was a time when I just didn't have a fish finder, and I wonder how many times this kind of thing happened, and I would have never known. You know, fish just looking at your lure, and I just never had to worry about it. Yeah, I remember times where I'm just like, you know what, I don't want to set up all these electronic things. Like, just gonna fish by feel today. And the thing is, when you're fishing by feel and a fish bites, it's like, you know it. You know you got a fish on. So like I usually go to Rice Lake for carp in the spring for my birthday. And this year my dad decided he doesn't want to go there anymore. And it was kind of an unfortunate thing because we talked about other places in the Kawarthas area that are full of carp. But then a lot of the places are much more expensive than the place we were going to. And I don't know, my dad's offered to sort of send me and my kid there, but he doesn't want to come himself. And it's kind of a bummer. Looks like we hit the hour here. Can I get this fish on before I gotta go? So Norman White says, I love using 1/2-inch silver or gold Williams wobbler. A 1/2 inch? Like a tiny little micro spoon? Or even a little Clio? Small piece of red yarn or fiber. I'll have to try that out. I used to swear by, it wasn't specifically a Williams wobbler, but I used to swear by just a little gold spoon, the smallest gold spoon you could find when the bite was really light. I found those really worked well. And as well, I started using those tungsten teardrops, and those things worked really well as well when the bite was really light. Yeah. So Bernie, you say there's slush coming around the islands, eh? Rob Free. Yep, it's zoomed in on the bottom. It's got the last 6 feet here. Bottom zoom style. Yeah, off-grid wannabe. Bite is slow tonight. Yep. Gibbs Croc silver orange with minnow head. AKA the St. John special. Yeah, I was thinking that after this big storm that we'd be not seeing too active a fish. Maybe a little slow down there. Well, I feel like this fussy fish is just not going to go for it. So epic deals and trending gifts. You said that you tried the minnow clapper down at Long Point last weekend. Got about 60 perch. That's awesome. Yeah, the one thing with those, so I'm just reading through the comments here where you guys saw me catch that pike. One thing with those pike, there isn't, if you don't get them or hold them by the gill plate, there isn't a lot of places you can hold them because they just slip through your hands. At least like other fish, you got some different fins that you can sort of get your fingers under. All right, I was going to go through some of these comments and I'm going to get going. So Russell Lamb says, I'm going to Long Point this Saturday. Last weekend was slow. Yeah, Rob Brown, that rod holder is an Amazon special. It's by Bro. I'm sorry, I forget the exact name. It's Bro stuff, Bro gear, Bro styles, something like that. All right, everybody. Well, I got to rock and roll because it probably takes me a good 25 minutes to walk out of here after I pack up all my stuff. So I'm going to take off, get walking through this darkness back to my truck. So thanks everybody for showing up. If anybody's coming to Birch Grove this weekend, I'll see you there. I'll have a whole bunch of clappers. Got clappers coming out the yin yang, all sorts of different styles. I'm always coming up with new ones. And otherwise, everybody who's fishing this weekend, I hope you guys have fun. And since it's Family Day weekend, I hope take your kid fishing. And since it's Valentine's Day tomorrow, don't forget to tell your loved ones that you love them, as is the way. We'll talk to you guys next week, possibly. You'll see a report on Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, probably Tuesday. I've been taking one day off a week because I have all this overtime that I need to take. So I got a little bit of extra time, but usually that time is dedicated to hanging out with my family. So anyway, have yourselves a great night, and we'll talk to you guys soon.